Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore. Hi, I'm Don Valentine with Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore Services. There's an old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So true for a home. Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore AC, Plumbing, and Electrical. When something breaks, you need help. But most companies charge just to come to your home before they even see the problem. Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore AC, Plumbing, and Electrical. When something breaks, you need help. Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore AC, Plumbing, and Electrical. When something breaks, you need help. But most companies charge just to come to your home. Before they even see the problem, there's a fee. I don't get it. Why should you pay them for the chance to earn your business? Not John Moore. Our technician will give you a full, honest explanation of the problem and an estimate for the work. No charge. Free. Call 713-730-2525.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Most people first met Harriet Tubman in a black and white photo in a textbook. We all read a couple paragraphs about how she was a conductor in the Underground Railroad. She saved the lives of people attempting to flee from slavery. And that was it. That was the end of the story we got. But Harriet Tubman was so much more than that.
She guided Union boats up the river, and she moved from port to port, from place to place along the riverbank, where the enslaved people could come and be rescued and be taken to freedom.
You know, this is one of the moments that most people who think they know anything about Tubman, they're like, wait a minute, she fought for the Union?
She was a wife and mother, an entrepreneur, a soldier, spy, nurse, and an activist who fought for women's right to vote.
She was a woman of action, while there were many men of words during the antebellum period.
I'm Celeste Headley, and this is Following Harriet. It's a podcast that takes a closer look at the life of one of the bravest and most extraordinary women in our country's history. It puts Harriet in a broader context, examining the 19th century experience.
Western recovery report for the Mavs. Both Quentin Grimes and Derek Lively have recovered enough from their illnesses to play tonight against the Knicks. Daniel Gafford, though, has come down with an illness, and he will be out for tonight's game. Klay Thompson remains out with left foot plantar fascia, and Luka Doncic will miss his fourth straight game with a right wrist sprain. For the Knicks, center Mitchell Robinson is out tonight as he's yet to play this season after ankle surgery back in May. Precious Achiuwa has also going to miss tonight with a hamstring injury he suffered in the final preseason game. That has been your UT Southwestern Recovery Report. Now it's time for a courtside interview as we hear from Skylar Dixon of the Associated Press. Chuck Cooperstein brings us that conversation.
And a few minutes here with Skylar Dixon from the Associated Press. And it's always fun when the Mavericks play the Knicks. There's a ton of history here. And you wouldn't think that, it's with Miami. It's one thing you played them in the finals. The Mavericks and Knicks just play each other twice a year. And yet, really over the last 5 years, their lives have very much intertwined.
Yeah, and the Brunson thing is such a great story, and I hate that we're again sitting here with no Brunson versus Luka. That's I think what a lot of people enjoy seeing, and I think it's only once that they played since the thing happened. So that part of it is a little bit of a downer, but otherwise great, and it's always great for the league. You would know better than I would, but when the Knicks are relevant and there's a lot of storylines and they're playing well and they should be a factor postseason like they have been, that makes it good too.
And 11 versus 11 tonight makes this, I think, even more fun because clearly the Mavericks knew they messed up when they didn't re-sign Jalen, and they had to find a way to replace him. And they did find a way to replace him, and maybe even in some ways in a better way to replace him.
Yeah, and one of the underlying questions will always be, had Jalen stayed, what would have happened when Kyrie was suddenly available? And, I always thought there was a pretty good chance that he would have ended up in Brooklyn anyway. And as a result of all that, you never know for sure. But the Kyrie component right now to me is really interesting because they're 3-1 without Luka. Last year they never had a winning record without Luka. I think they lost their first three and they finished like 3-6 or something like that. So.
Like every year they've started out the games when they didn't play with Luka. They were like 0-3 one year, 0-7 I think a couple of years ago, right? It always seems to start out bad before they kind of figure out how to do it as the year goes on.
And it's more than Kyrie. Najee Marshall's been great, but it's been without a bunch from Clay. He's been struggling a little bit, and obviously now the injury factor for him. So, that was the plan when they lost the Celtics, right? Okay, what can we do to make this team a little deeper, a little bit more dangerous, and you're kind of seeing that, I think, here early.
I'm not a huge believer in the whole.
And again, that's Skylar Dixon of the Associated Press. One quick note, forgot to mention earlier during the UT Southwestern Recovery Report. Also out tonight for the New York Knicks is Tyler Kolak, the rookie from Marquette. He will miss tonight's game due to an illness. I'm Tyler Sloan. That will do it for tonight's pregame show. When we return, we'll send you over to Chuck Cooperstein and Brian Damaris, who are at the American Airlines Center for the call of tonight's game. It's the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks. The lineups and opening tip-off are next on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore Services. There's an old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So true for homes. Houston homes are simply not built for the cold. Pipes can freeze, water heaters can burst, heating systems fail, especially if they're old. Protect your home with our plumbing and heating checkup and get our famous no breakdown guarantee. Be ready for winter with John Moore. 713-730-2525.
As we enter the spirit of giving, Goodwill Houston invites you to clean out your
Systems fail. Hi, I'm Don Valentine with John Moore AC, Plumbing, and Electrical. When something breaks, you need help. But most companies charge just to come to your home. Before they even see the problem, there's a fee. I don't get it. Why should you pay them for the chance to earn your business? Not John Moore. Our technician will give you a full, honest explanation of the problem and an estimate for the work. No charge. Free. Call 713-730-2525.
A day. There's no medical exam, and you can be approved even if you have pre-existing health conditions. Download the Smart Bunny app and get up to $25,000 in coverage for your funeral and other final expenses. Go to the App Store and download the Smart Bunny app and get instant coverage. Download the Smart Bunny app now.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot. If you're working on getting ready for company,
a lot of company,
make sure you're ready with Black Friday savings. Get up to 40% off select appliances, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select kitchen appliances. Upgrade your kitchen with top brands like GE Profile and get sleek cutting-edge appliances to make sure you've
got hosting handled.
Yeah, you do. Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances this holiday at the Home Depot. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes. Looking for a premium smoke? Then welcome to the world of Al Capone Cigars, where we're keeping it real. Using only premium natural leaf wrappers, Al Capones are hand-rolled for a unique look and smooth flavor. From mellow to bold to the rich flavor of sweet cognac, Al Capone cigars stand out. Elevate your style with Al Capone My Way. Find AlCaponeCigar.com. That's AlCaponeCigar.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
It's Dallas Mavericks basketball.
This is Luka Doncic.
Hey, it's Mark Cuban.
On 97.1 The Eagle.
It's time, Mavs fans, for Dallas Mavericks basketball on the radio home of the Mavs.
Kyrie turning. Do you have time? He got it away. It's on.
KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas.
This is 97.1 The Eagle and the Mavs Radio Network.
Luka against Gobert with his legs, stepping back for the win. He got it. He got it.
Now let's go courtside. Here's the radio voice of the Dallas Mavericks, Chuck Cooperstein.
And welcome to the American Airlines Center. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. The Mavericks and the New York Knickerbockers tonight, as the Mavericks come off that 3-game road trip that was nearly spectacular. Instead, it was just very good. They're home for tonight, then back on the road over the weekend. Brian, it's a home game, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a home game.
This is always the game you worry about. The first game after kind of a grueling road trip where they went east. They played a tough back-to-back. There's illness, there's injury, and they're playing a team that is really potent offensively.
Indeed, the Knicks are all of that. And when you talk about the Mavericks and the Knicks in this vein tonight, you're talking about the two number 11s.
And the two number 11s are what the superstar battle is, but it's really going to be a battle of the pick-and-roll game. Kyrie and what big he has versus the Jalen Brunson cat pick-and-roll, which is the deadliest in the NBA.
Texas Ford, you're the key to the game.
Knicks don't play that many players, really 6 a lot of minutes. You have more depth on the Mavs side. Can you use that depth to play with some pace? It's going to have to be a fast game to win.
Indeed, the Mavericks with more depth, even with both Klay Thompson and Daniel Gafford out of the lineup tonight. Thompson missing his second consecutive game, and Gafford a really important part of what happened on Monday night in Atlanta after Derek Lively took ill and did not play in the second half. The Knicks have been introduced to the crowd here at the American Airlines Center, and the Mavericks are about to be. And to do that, I do believe it is time to bring in the voice of the American Airlines Center. I think I mistimed this.
It's a national TV game. You never know what extra accoutrement they have.
Well, here they go. So you got Eminence Front working in the background, and now it's time for Sean Heath to come out and introduce the Mavericks. Let's hear it for the Dr. Pepper starting lineup. Our Dallas Mavericks. At guard in his 4th season from Houston, number 5, Quentin Grimes. At forward in his 5th season from Xavier, number 13, the 9th, Najee Marshall. At forward in his
his sixth season from Kentucky, number 25, P.J. Washington Jr. At center in his second season from Duke, number 2, Derek Lively II. And at guard, in his 14th season from Duke, number 11, Kyrie Irving. Our head coach is Jason Kidd.
The New York Knicks come in at 10-7, while the Mavericks are 10-8. The Knicks, of course, coached by Tom Thibodeau in his 5th season in New York. And his lineup is presented by Florid, prepared to be floored. OG Anunoby at 1 forward, 6'7", his 8th year from Indiana, 19.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, coming off a career-high 40-point game in Denver on Monday night. Josh Hart, 6'4", in his 8th year from Villanova, 14.1 points, 8.6 rebounds, shooting 60.5% from the floor. Karl Anthony Towns, the center, 7 feet, his 10th year from Kentucky. 10th in the league in scoring at 26.3 points, his 12.6 rebounds, shooting 55% from the floor and 47% from 3. In the backcourt, Mikal Bridges, 6'6", his 7th year from Villanova. 15.6 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Plays more minutes than anyone in the NBA at 38.1 per game, and of course it continues his Ironman streak tonight, the 424th consecutive game of his NBA career in which he has appeared. And Jalen Brunson, the former Maverick, 6'2", in his 7th year from Villanova, 13th in the league in scoring at 24.9, 8th in the league in assists at 7.9. And that is the Knicks starting lineup. The Mavericks in the City Edition whites tonight with the gray numbers and letters Mavs written across the chest, the gray striping down the sides. Mavericks shoot to our left in the first half. The Knicks in their blue uniforms, the orange numbers and letters outlined in white, New York written across the chest, and white lettering on the back with the names above the number. And they will shoot at the basket to our right. The officials tonight are Zach Zarba, Mitchell Irvin, and Derek Collins, Tony Brothers, Matt Boland, Suyash Mehta, Brandon Adair, and Simone Jelks at the replay center in Secaucus, New Jersey. The Mavericks have won the last 4 between the teams, and the Mavericks trying to improve to 7-3 at home. New York, so far this season, has split its 10 road games.
Well, New York had a tough start to the season trying to find it with their new mix, and the Mavericks as well.
And we are underway, and Lively wins the tip backwards, and Najee Marshall will bring it up to Irving and quickly to Lively, middle of the floor. To the right to Marshall, played by Josh Hart. Ripping through to the right, enters to Washington on the block against Anunoby, and he goes over and banked it, and he just hit the backboard. Well played by Anunoby. Towns the rebound. To Bridges, driving on Irving. Left of the lane, will pull up from 10, and he hit it.
Well, you know what the Mavs are going to try to do on their first play. This time it didn't work.
Irving to Lively. Back to Irving. Try to trap and whip it right corner, wide open. Marshall for 3. Hit the front rim, weak side rebound to Brunson. And here comes Hart on the fly. Up the left side, left to right, into Marshall. Flips it on up. That's no good. Lively the rebound. And Marshall will run it the other way. He's got Grimes on his left. Will drive it into the lane. Bounce pass behind him to Irving and back to Marshall. Outside the arc, left of the circle. Pulled the string. Short there. 0 for 2 from 3 from Marshall. Brunson another rebound. Along the right side to Towns. Drops at the left elbow. The pivot by Bridges. Ripped away by Lively, and he'll have a jump ball.
Nice defensive move by Lively to get a hand in there and stop it. This is a new look Knicks team. It's not your dad's Knicks. It's not Brunson pounding the ball. They've got 5 out. Everybody on that team can score.
Other than Bridges, their three-point shooting is absolutely off the charts. As Lively bats it backward, Washington able to retrieve it at the baseline under the Knick basket, and now Marshall will bring it up. Bounce pass left, Irving against Brunson, 1-on-1. 11 on 11, jab step, put it on the floor, in the lane, kick it out. Washington show and go around Anunoby, lay it off to Lively for the throwdown.
And what happens when you drive?